We're not quite done with the creative sector yet. This time we're going into Nollywood. We're exploring the exploits of one of your favorite movie directors. Nii Akimolayo joins us on the program. He's the CEO, Ant Hill Studios is right here in our Lagos studio. And we have Nollywood young creative actress, Temi Ajamolaya. Hi, Temi.
Hello.
How do you feel being described as Nollywood actress?
I'm happy. I'm happy to be described as a Nollywood actress.
Fantastic. And we're happy to have you.
Thank you.
So we're going to come to you, Temi, shortly, but let's start with Nii. Of course, we know you for your films. We've seen Setup. We've seen a number of your movies. But this time you're doing your first Nollywood series for children, and it has laugh track underneath. I found time to look at, just a few minutes of it yesterday, and I'm like, oh, when last did we see laugh track production in Nollywood? Maybe way back. So what's the inspiration for this, and of course, the idea behind Temi and the Labalaba band?
All right, thanks. And it's good to be back on the show
again.
Same seat. Same seat, actually.
Yeah.
And I think I did mention, what was coming the last time you came. And one of the things people do not know or they get to discover about me is that when I started out, my core interest was children entertainment. I started out first as an animator. I wanted to make Disney movies. Those were the things I cared about then. But I realized that there was no one doing it. It didn't feel like there was a market for it, but I refused to accept that because I knew that they were kids, and these kids were watching stuff on Disney, they were watching stuff on Nickelodeon, and we got to a point at Ant Hill Studios where we said, hey, we need to go back to some of the original things that we lined up as a studio that we wanted to do, and one of it was children entertainment, and that's why we're doing it. There is a gap that has to be filled, and Ant Hill has always been that studio that would always set the pace, lead before everyone catches up. So that's why we're doing it.
All right, so let me come to Temi now. We'll get to you now to talk about how challenging it is to work with children. But let's come to Temi. Temi, you're also Temi in the series.
Yes.
How much of Temi is in Temi?
A lot of Temi is in Temi because first of all, I sing, I love singing, and Temi just really connects with Temi because our character, our visual expressions, how Temi is meant to be is practically how I am. When I read the description of the character, I knew that was me. I knew that was the one with the sharp tongue. I knew that was the one that will just talk and then just say whatever I want. Get in trouble, get out of trouble. It was just fun being myself and being that character.
So how challenging was it for you to, bring out the Temi in Temi, knowing that this time around, you had to bring on your A game?
It wasn't challenging at all because Temi is Temi. I am Temi. So I was practically myself. There was hardly anything I actually had to change, except for the jumpy, bubbly person that I'm not really all the time, but it was practically the same, I'd say.
Beautiful. How old are you, Temi? You're not at that age where you can't tell us your age, right? But you can tell us right now. How old are you, Temi?
Yeah, I'm 12 years.
You're 12 years. So let me tell you this. This is the you this is a person that a lot of adults wanted to be when they were your age. So you're living a lot of people's dreams. You're outspoken. You are like the main character in that sense. So on behalf of all the adults, I want to thank you for living that dream. I want to ask you how it was casting. Really, because I don't know how difficult it will have been, but I'm sure you were looking out for something. So how did you know that,
these are the right people?
Temi, by the way, I know it's Temi Sola, that's how your name is said, but you're
Temi
Temi in the series. How did you know this is a person, this is a person?
So two things. First, how did we even come up with the show? So early last year, we lined up 4 different ideas. I was very stubborn about the fact that I was at least going to do one. Interestingly, this wasn't even one of those ideas. We had a fashion kids show, we had a sitcom with a family. We had so many things we had on the table. And then one day, our mom happens to be the production designer at Ant Hill Studios. So she played something on her phone, just joking, like, look at my little girl singing. And I heard it, and I was like, wait, play that thing again. Then I'd be like, what do you mean that's your little girl singing? So I said, I don't believe it. You know, bring the girl to the studio. I want to hear her sing. And we brought her to the studio. We put the mic on her, and I heard the voice. And that was it. It was like, okay, I think I know the show I'm going to do. I'm going to do a music show about a kid who saves her mother's restaurant, you know, from grandmother's restaurant from collapsing by starting a band. Everything just lined up. Coincidentally, we had done a film, Mikolo, that had Boniface, who is the Boniface character. That's Finya Shenuga, very brilliant kid. And I always knew we wanted to do something with him again. So we know we had two characters.
Already.
And then we reached out. Stan Nze used to do this really beautiful program where he, you know, works with kids and he trains them over the summer holidays. And we reached out to him and said, hey, give us some of your kids and let's audition. And that was how we got Brian Ndukwe, fantastic. He plays Barry in the show, Kyra Bashir, he plays Mina on the show. And, you know, it started expanding. We had Joshua, Ame, and, you know, some of them had a bit of training. But because we knew that they hadn't done this sitcom formula yet, we spent a whole month just rehearsing, figuring it. We were also learning from them. And people are surprised whenever I say this, but I had it way easier working with these kids, you know, and I've worked with everyone in the industry. I've worked with the biggest stars in the industry. The reason is that because the kids are doing the things they want to do, they are the stars of the show. Right. They are not some child to a dying mother in some Nollywood epic where they're all surrounded with a bunch of adults and they're intimidated. They own the show. I mean, you've seen the show. The setting, everything is them. It made it very easy. They knew the script more than we did. You know, they added, when you watch the show, half of some of the things you're doing, they were improvising it themselves. It wasn't us. So if you work with kids on stuff that is made for them, trust me, it's a secret, you know, but you're going to get excellent results even than working with adults.
Ooh, like I can see the first episode is live on YouTube.
Yes,
the Rent Reaper Locomotes. It's beautiful, again, to see you doing this with other kids. We'll bring some of your fellow actors, colleagues on very soon. But what should we expect from this? Because some will say what you're doing is groundbreaking, it's landmark. Okay, those are not big terms.
It's ginormous.
You know.
We tend to use big words on the show.
Exactly. Even the kids know the big terms better than the adults. So how has the reception been, particularly from your mates in school? I imagine you're a celebrity now of sorts. How has it been?
Nothing has really changed. You just get eyes. Oh my God, you're a celebrity. Wow, you're on TV. Wow, I can see you over there. Wow, you're over there. You're over there. But
she's being modest.
I know, right?
But it's really awesome to be known by people, to be seen, and then seen for what you love. Seen for acting, seen for singing. It's really fantastic.
You know, Temi, I can see the bigger picture beyond this. So for you and, you know, your friends who are giving you the attention now, how hopeful are you that this is going to be an alternative to the Thundermans and the other, you know, shows that we watch on Nickelodeon? So talk to us about that.
Okay, so at first I really didn't see, but now I'm getting lots of comments that like it's like Nickelodeon, and then looking back at it and having to like watch the whole thing, and then going back to a couple of shows that I watched maybe like 3 years ago, I found out that the difference is not so much. The difference is not so much. The fun, the vibes, the colors, the difference is not so much between the Nickelodeon that we used to, or we still watch, and what we did.
And it's beautiful because you are with a man who does animation as well. That's why I said I think you're onto something great. Yeah. It's groundbreaking, landmark. But hey, we have to invite others on. So we're going to be bringing up Brian and Kyra to the stage. They're also part of Temi and the Labalaba band. So, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for Brian and Kyra. How are you guys doing? You guys are so cool. Is there a way I can join? Or
Yes, you can join. You can be
Is
the
it we
lousy
can-
customer.
Beautiful, hood as well.
You know, the
be like
hoodie.
members of the cast also.
And I hope these mercs are available for, other kids who want to get it, because I think it's going to be a
Yes,
great
so we
set.
have a website, temiandlabalaba.com. We're going to be making some announcements soon on people who want to purchase the mech. But, it's important to first grow a bit of a fan following, before we do that. So, yes, there's lots of mech, actually. Bags, stationaries, and all the likes, coming.
I can't help but want to slot in one. The set. And you're known for amazing sets. In 30 seconds, talk to us about that, how you brought that set to life.
Oh, so the brief was very simple. Give us a very colorful African kitchen, but the design is for it to work as a sitcom. We need to see both the kitchen and the restaurant all together.
Yeah.
And it has to be a restaurant that is cool enough for kids to perform. That was the brief. And they executed. Shout out to the Anthill production design team.
I need to give you guys a high
Thank
five.
you so much.
I need to feel cool right now. So there
Thank
you go.
you for bringing our
job.
set to life.
I'll have
We've
to
been
shake
talking
you.
with Nii Akimolayo, CEO, Anthill Studios. He's right in our Lagos studio. And of course, Temi Ajamolaya, 12-year-old amazing vocal actress. And of course, we have
Brian
Brian
and Kyra.
and Kyra. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you.